Throwing thousands of dollars at a high-end turntable is a massive waste of money if you ignore the tiny jewel-tipped instrument that is actually reading your records. The phono cartridge sitting at the end of your tone arm is quite literally the first link in your entire playback chain. And today we're going to deep dive on 5 of the best performing models from Audio-Technica to show you exactly how these instruments convert microscopic physical grooves into electronic music. Get it right, and your records will sing. But if you blindly buy a cartridge without understanding how its underlying technology interacts with your specific system, even the most expensive turntable in the world won't save you from a sound that is thin, harsh, and completely lifeless. Let's fix that. First, a little more context. Audio-Technica has been perfecting the phono cartridge since 1962. When the rest of the world abandoned vinyl for CDs in the 1980s, they didn't stop innovating. They just kept refining their engineering. Today we are looking at 5 of their absolute best value cartridges. But before we look at the specific models, we need to quickly demystify the 2 main types of technologies they use: moving magnet and moving coil. It all comes down to physics, specifically the weight of the moving parts inside the cartridge. In a moving magnet or design, 2 tiny magnets are attached directly to the moving needle. Because magnets have a bit of mass, they generate a high output electrical signal. This means you can plug these cartridges into virtually any standard turntable setup without needing specialized gear. That extra mass also gives you a bold dynamic sound with visceral, punchy bass that is absolutely perfect for rock and jazz. Best of all, when the needle wears out, you can easily pop it off and replace the stylus yourself. Moving coil or MC design flips the script. The heavy magnets are locked in place and microscopically thin coils of wire move with the needle instead. Because those wire coils are exponentially lighter than magnets, the needle can react to the microscopic grooves of your record with blistering speed. The result is breathtaking. You get lifelike transient accuracy, massive 3D sound stages, and ultra resolution that pulls hidden details out of complex acoustical or classical tracks. However, that extreme precision comes with a trade-off. The delicate wiring means that you cannot replace the needle yourself, and their low output signal requires you to invest in a specialized high-end phono preamp to actually hear that detail. So, standard punch and convenience, or specialized ultra-light precision? Let's look at the 5 best options Audio-Technica makes to help you decide. The ATO C9 series has been around since 1987. That's nearly 4 decades of continuous refinement on a single platform, which is about as strong a vote of confidence an audiophile community can deliver. The current OC9X lineup represents the biggest expansion of this series yet, and it shares a consistent set of engineering fundamentals across all models. Both the AT-OC9XML and the AT-OC9XSL are dual moving coil cartridges featuring rigid aluminum bodies that reduce resonance. They have neoprene magnets and premium permature yokes that increase the magnetic energy. They both utilize pure copper Biono continuous casting PCOCC coils aligned in reverse V-shapes to exert less pressure on the stylus and minimize distortion. Both also feature a 0.28mm diameter nude solid barren cantilever. The dual moving coil design featuring independent coils for left and right channels arranged in a reverse V formation. Combined with the PCOCC coils, it delivers an outstanding channel separation. Now let's look at what separates them. So the AT-OC9XML is, in our opinion, the sweet spot of the entire OC9X lineup. At 649, it features a nude microlinear stylus, and it delivers a frequency response from 20 to 47,000 Hz, with 27 dB of channel separation. The microlinear stylus profile is a precision ground shape that closely replicates the geometry of the cutting stylus used to create the master lacquers. This means it fits into the groove in a way that's extremely faithful to the original cut, and it wears very evenly over time, which is a significant practical advantage. The AT-OC9XML is a masterpiece of precision, featuring a dual moving coil design that allocates independent coils to the left and right channels, perfectly complemented by its reverse V-shaped coil alignment, which minimizes distortion by reducing pressure on the stylus. The result is an audio reproduction that offers exceptional channel separation, realizing a soundstage where each instrument and vocal is projected with clarity and authenticity. In real-world listening, the OC9XML provides an ultra-precise, fluid, and airy sound with excellent stereo separation. Reviewers consistently note that it possesses a slightly leaner low end, but compensates with pure, fast, and free-flowing musicality that never sounds overly clinical or sterile. Mounted on a quality turntable, both AT-OC9X cartridges unveil significant finer details than the moving coil designs with conical styli. They sound airier, more open, extended, transparent, and massively more refined. While they do not necessarily provide a wider or deeper soundstage than some competitors, there's considerably more separation between the individual sounds within the soundstage. The Audio-Technica presents instruments and spatial sounds in their own positions at different layers and at different depths. For the listener who wants to step into the world of high-performance moving coil without spending four figures, the OC9XML is an exceptional entry point. It is generally competitive with moving coil cartridges costing significantly more money, and its microlinear stylus makes it forgiving to set up and kind to your records over the long term. Step up $170 and you arrive at the AT-OC9XSL, the flagship of the two models we're covering today. The key difference is the nude special line contact stylus, which elevates the frequency response from 20 to 50,000 Hz and pushes channel separation to 28 dB. A special line contact, or fine line, stylus profile makes more contact with the groove wall than a microlinear, which means it's reading more of the information that was pressed into the record. In theory, this translates to higher resolution, better transient accuracy, and more precise imaging. The evolution of the OC9 series shows an attempt to produce a more neutral frequency response, with each successive iteration lessening to some degree the original rising high frequencies. The OC9XSL continues on this path. The extended high frequencies are all still there, in all their glory of air, detail, and clarity, but now possesses a subtle, nuanced, and sophisticated refinement without exaggerating some of the earlier OC9 versions. There is, however, one critical thing you must know about the OC9XSL before you buy it. It requires a significant break-in period. Patience is richly rewarded, but some of the rougher and coarser sounds the OC9XSL makes during its break-in process may almost have you giving up on it. Reviewers constantly recommend waiting at least 40 to 50 LP sides, sometimes up to 2 months of regular listening before evaluating the cartridge's true performance. Out of the box, some have described it as sounding somewhat restrained or woolly compared to the more immediate, incisive OC9XML. But once broken in, the special line contact stylus unlocks its full excellent dynamic potential, delivering the kind of ultra-resolution and tonality neutrality that puts it firmly in elite company. The AT-OC9XSL showcases Audio-Technica's commitment to precision engineering, and its rigid aluminum body serves as a crucial role in minimizing unwanted resonance that could color the sound. If you're willing to exercise patience and have a system capable of showing what this cartridge can do, the OC9XSL is a remarkable achievement at its price point. Now, let's turn to what may be the most exciting development in the moving magnet world in years: the Audio-Technica updated VMX series. These three cartridges represent the premium tier of a freshly redesigned lineup, and they challenge the assumption that moving magnet means budget option. All three models share a die-cast aluminum alloy housing to suppress resonance. They have a center shield plate to reduce crosstalk, and highly efficient paratoroidal coils upgrading to use PCUHD, or pure copper ultra-high drawability wire. And crucially, all three utilize solid barren cantilevers, which transmit signals 2.5 times faster than aluminum cantilevers, resulting in dramatically more accurate reproduction of dynamics. The user-replaceable stylus system is also a worthy highlight here. Because these are moving magnet designs, you can swap the styli between models on the same cartridge body. Buy the VM740ML today, and if you later decide you want to upgrade to the Shibata or special line contact tip, you can do so without buying an entirely new cartridge. This is a major advantage in terms of both flexibility and long-term cost of ownership. Let's look at each model. The AT-VM745XML is the entry point of the premium trio at $329, and it is, frankly, a staggering amount of cartridge for the money. It features a microlinear stylus that delivers a frequency response of 20 to 27,000 Hz. The microlinear shape closely duplicates the cutting stylus used on a master disc, allowing it to accurately trace high frequencies and wear very evenly over long-term use. Paired with that solid Baron cantilever, the result is a highly responsive cartridge with three-dimensional spatial representation that competes well above its price class. For listeners who are upgrading from an entry-level or mid-range elliptical cartridge, the VM745ML will be a revelation. The improvements in detail retrieval, soundstage precision, and dynamic expression are immediately audible. And because the microlinear stylus is so forgiving in terms of setup and tracking, it's an excellent choice for those who are still building their tone arm alignment skills. At just $40 more than the VM745ML is the AT-VM750XSH, and it's one of the most remarkable value propositions in analog audio today. At $369, you get a nude Shibata stylus, a profile that in most other product lines would cost considerably more. The Shibata stylus profile has a fascinating history. It was originally developed in Japan in the early 1970s specifically for quadraphonic records, which required the ability to track ultra-high frequencies that conventional stylus profiles simply couldn't reproduce accurately. What the engineers discovered was that the Shibata's unique geometry, which allows for drastically more groove contact than a standard elliptical or even microlinear profile, also produced extraordinary results on conventional stereo records. The Shibata stylus profile maximizes groove contact while minimizing wear again. This sophisticated design extracts ultra-high frequencies with remarkable precision, resulting in astonishingly low distortion levels. The VM750SH delivers analog with a digital-like precision without sacrificing too much of the liquidity and the mental ease of recording reproduction. That's a telling description. It captures something that the best Shibata cartridges do that few others can match. They combine the analytical resolution of a precision stylus with the natural, organic quality that makes vinyl so compelling in the first place. In practice, the VM750SH excels at maintaining excellent high frequencies while providing rich mid to low frequency reproduction. It delivers a clear and powerful soundstage that conveys the intensity of live performance. Whether it's a jazz quartet or a full symphony orchestra, this cartridge has the ability to make music feel present and alive in a way that cheaper designs simply cannot. One real-world user described the experience of upgrading to the VM750SH this way. The sound is wide open and it digs deep into the recording. That's about as succulent a description of a great Shibata cartridge as you will find. One caveat worth noting, Shibata stylists are similarly talented in detail retrieval, but more balanced in character than the microline designs, though some say they can be a little more busyness-like. And the VM750SH does require attention to capacitance loading. Matching your phono stage's input capacitance to the cartridge specifications will make a meaningful difference in high-frequency extension and overall tonality. And here we arrive at the flagship of the VMX moving magnet lineup. The AT-VM760XSL at $599 features a nude special line contact stylus and extended frequency response of 20 to 30,000 Hz. The widest of the three models. The special line contact profile tracks with highest level of precision and makes the most groove contact of any of the stylus shapes in this lineup. The result is maximum information retrieval. The cartridge is pulling detail out of the groove that other styli simply leave behind. User reviews and professional evaluations of the VM760XSL consistently circle around the same descriptions. Lively, airy, neutral with a huge soundstage and exceptional depth. Bass punch is described as powerful without being artificially bloated. High-frequency extension is real and airy without being bright and fatiguing. One particularly striking assessment compared the VM760XSL favorably to a moving coil cartridge costing $3,000. That is a bold claim, but it speaks to something genuinely at $5.99. With a special line contact stylus on a bar and cantilever, this cartridge is operating in territory that was, even 5 years ago, exclusively the domain of high-priced moving coil designs. It's worth noting one honest trade-off: the special line contact profile, because it makes such intimate contact with the groove, may produce slightly more noise on heavily worn records than microlinear or Shibata designs. If your collection skews towards heavily played secondhand vinyl, this is worth keeping in mind. For well-maintained records, however, the VM760XSL is simply breathtaking. So let's bring it all together. You've seen the 5 cartridges, but which one should actually go on your tone arm? It's ultimately coming down to your current gear and the type of sound you want. Let's start with the plug-and-play listener. If you want bold dynamic sound with powerful low-end punch and you want to use the standard phono stage you already own, stick with the VMX Moving Magnet series. You get the ultimate convenience of swapping your own needles at home. If you're on a budget, the VM750XSH gives you an almost unfair amount of performance for under $400. If you want absolute top-of-class performance without the hassle of specialized gear, the VM760XSL is the peak of moving magnet technology. And now for the high-resolution purists. If you have a highly resolving system, listen to complex acoustical or classical music, and want literal 3D analytical clarity, you need the OC9X Moving Coil series. Just remember the trade-off. You cannot replace the needle yourself, and you must have a dedicated MC-capable phono stage to hear them properly. If you have the gear, the OC9XML is an outstanding entry point, while the flagship OC9XLS competes with the cartridges that cost 3 times the price. At the end of the day, Audio-Technica has been doing this for over 60 years. Their manufacturing discipline is so dialed in that whichever path you choose, you're getting a staggering reliable instrument. 5 cartridges, 2 technologies, and 1 company with an unbroken commitment to analog audio. Remember, whether you choose the punchy dynamics of a standard design or the ultra resolution of a specialized one, matching the right cartridge to your system is the only true way to unlock the magic hidden in your vinyl. If this deep dive helped you, hit subscribe, share it with your fellow vinyl enthusiasts, and drop your questions in comments below. We read every single one. Now, if you want to upgrade your turntable entirely to match your new cartridge, we need to talk about Audio-Technica's best players. Belt drive or direct drive, manual or semi-auto. We break down the top 3 Audio-Technica turntables we carry so you can find the perfect one for your listening style. Click the video right here and let's get spinning.